Pac-12 thing official.
What, Brandon? We were supposed to start the show. What'd you say?
Oh, sorry.
Welcome to the Barstool College Football Show. We are back in studio, week 3 of college football. Last week we were on the road. We are back. There are some smiles over here. Dan, I'm going to start with you because I feel like you're probably the most neutral here on the desk. How are you feeling right now?
I feel fine. I feel great. I'm headed into a tough weekend, but we also talk about the past weekend here. Dave, Michigan's bad. Brandon did get a hell of a Saturday, start to finish. And he cares more about his hair than he does football.
No, that's not true. I just touched up my hair. Yeah, it was a hell of a weekend. We had a good time in Ann Arbor. That was awesome.
It was great.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
Good show. Dave, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, we have. Yeah, listen. They played a bad game. It's a long season. A lot of football to be played. Obviously, Texas is really good. Like, Texas is a legit national title contender. We lost a coach, lost a lot of offensive linemen, lost wide receivers, lost quarterback. There's a lot of things that we got to work on. I will say, I just find Walker so incredibly stupid. And Big Ev, it not as much Big Ev, I guess Walker, but it's amazing that he's too dumb to stick near me during that game. Like, I've beaten his face.
What does that even mean?
Like a drum for so many times together watching Michigan pummel teams. He wasn't even around, so I don't care. It's like obviously we want to win the game, but that he didn't get an ounce of revenge on that. Like,
buddy,
he
we're gonna have like
near
6
me
times. We're gonna have like 6
Michigan
times
lost.
to watch Michigan lose this year. Michigan
It's no fun, dummy, when I expect them to lose and there's no stakes. Like, who cares?
You came out of that
this
embarrassing
was the
ass
first time
weekend
they've lost a regular season game in 100 years, and you were nowhere to be found.
You came out of an embarrassing ass weekend where you wore your stupid little crown
like, you're
and all
coming
that,
at me
thinking
now.
about where I was.
That's a week ago. I got the 1-0 Patriots. You didn't get a pound of flesh.
No, this is not his college show.
I didn't see
There it
this
is.
zone coming.
You were
That's
nowhere
a
God.
to be found.
But he's
You
got
were absolutely nowhere to be found.
I had to get on a plane and come back to Chicago.
You were nowhere to be found. How you could have driven home. You could have stayed next to me. I was willing to stay the whole game. You were
Why the
nowhere
fuck
to be
would I
found.
want to stay next to you? and watch
You
lose?
had your chance. You had your chance, and you were too dumb.
What is this?
You were too dumb
didn't
to
see
be
this
near
one
me when they lost.
Michigan fucking stinks. They will lose 6 or 7 games this year.
All day, it's ancient history. We're on to the next week. Arkansas State.
You might lose that one.
Well, you'll be nowhere to be found again if they do. This was the game where
There's
you
nowhere
could
to be found
have
even
tried
me.
to exact an ounce of revenge, and you were nowhere to be found. I didn't have to deal with you at all. I didn't even think about you.
All right, speaking of hair, you're getting on me about he can't throw a brush through his hair. He can't even look like he
He's
cares.
doing the
Walker,
surfer hair
Walker,
He looks like shit.
Walker.
You look like a fucking purse.
Walker,
You're terrible.
I slept. I woke up. I do the show. I don't know why you have like hairspray and makeup artists doing your hair before our college show. What are you doing? What have you become? Do you remember what you looked like when we found you? Like, that wasn't that long ago. Now you're some prima donna. This is an internet show. Like, you don't need your hair sprayed
also made a
and
relentless fun of me
demanding
when I
that
look
the
like that.
makeup artist come do your hair 5 seconds before the show. You're from Mississippi, you hick. Don't forget that.
I think your hair looks lovely.
Last we saw this motherfucker, he was wearing a crown, he was wearing the robe, he was wearing this, he was calling himself.
And you missed
and
it.
he got it
I
stuffed
was
down his
petting
fucking
you like
throat.
a dog.
He got it stuffed down
I
his
was
ugly
petting
ass
you
fucking
like a
throat.
dog, and you had your chance. The fact that you didn't stick around to watch Michigan get
I don't know. I
just
didn't
let
see
me
this
off
one
the hook.
coming.
It's Dennis Green. We had him and we let him off the hook. That's what you did. I don't care. It's a week old. If Michigan loses again, they have a bad season, and I'm next to you when they got 4 losses, I don't care. Like, who cares at that point? This was the last time for a while.
Good
Maybe it's
God.
like, oh, go get them.
Have
you
some
need them to
fucking
be
pride,
good again.
man. Have some fucking
you need
pride.
Them. We're the national champs, you moron. You need them to be good again just to raise my expectations. You don't get how it works. How dumb are you to let me off the hook
New low.
there?
It's a new low.
You knew he was going to find some way to spin zone.
Yeah, this is what he found?
I mean,
This is what it, what
It's
about
not
Big Ev?
really a spin
Big Ev
zone.
was there.
Big Ev
I'm
was sitting right
saying
next
he's
to you.
dumb. Michigan played poorly. They got humiliated, dominated, all of it, and you were nowhere to be found.
Ev
Learn how
did
to be
stay
a
with him.
fan.
That is true, Ev. Ev did stay. I was there too.
Ev, how fun was it to sit and watch him watch that?
It was great. Send them home at halftime. They stink. They have no quarterbacks. They have no offense. They have a lot of good individual players on defense, but even the push they were getting here, and these two great D tackles.
Yeah.
I mean,
Texas
they were
great.
running the ball over them. They were throwing the ball. Quinn Ewers
Hats
looked-
off to Texas. Great team.
Texas is very good. But
Yeah,
now,
Texas is
we're moving on to week 3 because we do have other games to talk about. And Dan, I know you guys talked about this on Pick'em. On paper, this slate is not like jump off the page, super sexy, but we've got some rivalry games. So
Yeah.
like the
You know
Apple
what you
Cup.
do, you know what you do, Casey? Like,
do?
do you remember the year Tiger won the Masters and I got that phone call? And I went into the office because I know as a fan, if somebody loves something, you have to be there, ready to pounce, ready.
You left
to
like a
jump.
bitch that
That's what
day.
it is being a fan. And this idiot was nowhere to be found. So dumb.
He did go in case he had the opportunity.
No,
but
he didn't. He sat there as soon as Tiger was going to win. He ran out like a bitch.
I was in position to make a play.
you had to see something coming, Brandon. You knew that he wasn't just going to lay down and take it.
I'm
knew
right.
it.
Anybody who's watching is like, Dave is 1,000% right. Walker doesn't have his eye on the ball. He's too worried about his hair.
Okay, let's get to the High Noon weekend preview. It's time to load up on the ice and break out the oversized lawn games because High Noon In Zone Pack is here. It's the limited edition fall pack. Pear, cranberry, black cherry, and grapefruit. The High Noon In Zone Pack is a fall exclusive, so go get it now. It's only here for a good time, not a long time. Visit highnoonspirits.com before your next tailgate to find a pack near you. So something new this year is we drop this show on Thursday night. So we record Thursday morning, drop it so we can talk about Friday night games.
Yep.
We have a very exciting, I guess, from a ranking standpoint, Friday night game. Number 20, Arizona at number 14, Kansas State. Kansas State favored by 7.5, the over-under at 59.5. Dan, I will start with you. What are you seeing from these two teams? Both of them 2-0, an interesting conference. Where are you leaning?
Kansas State should have lost to Tulane. Maybe not should have lost, but it was a dogfight, and Tulane kind of got screwed at the end. This is a game that I am probably being an idiot and taking Arizona 7.5 because it feels like they want you to do that, but I'm going to take Arizona 7.5. I don't think Avery Johnson hasn't looked incredible.
Right.
And Kansas State probably doesn't have the ability to win with like a big margin. So I'm gonna take 7.5, and I admit that it might be a mistake.
Brandon, we know that Avery Johnson had a lot of hype. I mean, people were thinking he was going to be like the next guy. They were going to potentially win the Big 12. What do you think about this matchup?
Well, Kansas State was in a war in Tulane. That's not an easy place to go at Tulane. And for Kansas State, they already lost to them 2 years ago. It was a weird game. They survived. They got out of there. They're better than Arizona. Arizona's defense has struggled twice this year. I think it's a great spot to buy low on Kansas State. Kansas State minus 7.5.
Dave?
But I don't believe in it.
I'm a big fan of the quarterback. I'm a big fan of the quarterback, Kansas State. I do believe the hype. I mean, he beat out the guy that they jettisoned to Ohio. Feels like a trap to take Arizona. I already took Arizona on their show. I'm trying to keep these things consistent. Dan echoed all my thoughts. I'm going to take Arizona and the over.
Okay, Ev?
I actually may like the over more, but Arizona over.
Oh, I forgot you could just. I was in the mindset
You can
of.
pick the over.
Yeah, you can take whatever you
All right,
want.
I'll take the over instead of Arizona. I forgot I'm in the mindset of Pro Football Show where I have to take a side.
No, you can do whatever you want. So just the over, not Arizona.
Yes.
Okay, please change Dan's pick to just the
What
over.
are our records? Do we have records?
I don't.
No, but
we've
we-
never kept records on this part.
I
have
thought we at
Yeah,
least
we
had
have.
records.
No, we haven't. We've kept it on the proper picks and
Does
stuff.
that mean your record stinks?
No, mine's pretty good.
That sounds like your record might stink.
We've
if
never
you said
kept records
that.
on.
I think that like
But if
maybe
you were
it
that
was-
quick to say that,
Oh,
does your record stink?
I know the
Yes.
function. I know how the
record
show
stinks.
works.
I'd assume because he would want the record.
I'm the
if it
only
didn't.
one here with the proper hair and ready to go. I know the records. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm all about this show.
So you know the records, so say them.
I don't know.
Okay, you just said that.
But do you have a good one?
I don't know. Probably. I'm Brandon Walker, so I bet it's pretty good.
Okay, all right. Maybe we can get the records for for next time we're in
I don't know.
studio?
I didn't know if we kept records or not. I would like to see the records. There's no point in doing the picks.
I don't think
We've been doing the
done
show
records
10 years. We
on
never
this
kept
show.
records.
Yeah.
I thought we did. Maybe I'm stupid.
We've definitely never done
sucked.
like a slate, but I do think that there was like where we had a paper that kept the records.
Yeah, the paper,
maybe.
okay.
Might have like really early on, like first like year or two, maybe.
Well, we can bring it back if you want.
Records
Dan.
are important. What are we doing if we're not keeping records?
It's a good point. We'll have records for next week.
Okay.
All right, Ev, who are you taking?
Yeah, I like Arizona in the over. I think Fafita's the better quarterback. They both have been underwhelming. Yeah, I'll take Arizona with the points in the over.
Yeah, I like Fafita too. I'm going to take Arizona. I mean, if Jed Fish was there, obviously this team would have, I feel like, could have won the conference. They're trying to figure it out, but I don't believe in Kansas State, so I'm going to take Arizona as well. Let's move to a rivalry game early in the season and a team that had a whole lot of hype. I know I bought into them. Number 9, Oregon at Oregon State. Oregon 16.5-point favorites on the road. The over-under at 50. Dave, I mean, Oregon has struggled the last couple of weeks. They've needed some special teams plays to bounce their way. This is a lot of points for a team that's not looked great, especially in a rivalry game on the road.
Yeah, it makes no sense. First of all, the fact these two are playing now, and you go watching Washington State, and was there one more? It just screws up my whole biorhythms. Like I just don't like I can't get past that they're playing this week. It screws up everything. It's like, are we in the middle of winter? What's going on? So the line also makes no sense. This line won't even make sense to me if Oregon won their first 2 games by 30. Now, granted, I haven't been paying attention to Oregon State, but they're a serviceable team usually, and like going in to Corvallis is never a cakewalk. So I don't know what the hell's going on. You got Oregon, who's looked like trash the last 2 weeks, giving 16 points on the road to Oregon State. Give me Oregon. Makes no sense.
Brandon?
I hate it. I think he's right. Like, this is a great spot to buy low in Oregon. They've looked bad against Idaho. They look bad against Boise State. But Boise State's probably pretty damn good.
Yeah, Boise State's better than people are
Boise
giving
State's
credit for.
really damn good. Could be the G5 representative in the playoff. Oregon State, they're going out there with Idaho's quarterback from last year. They don't have the coach from last year. The talent just is nowhere close. The talent is nowhere close as far as these two teams go. Something has to wake Oregon up. Maybe it's going to a rival. Maybe it's on the road. Maybe it's in this spot. And the number doesn't make sense. I gotta pick Oregon too.
You're going to take Oregon?
I'm taking Oregon, yeah.
When is the last time Oregon State at home was this big of an underdog? I mean, like ever?
I'm sure it's happened ever, but I don't think it's happened recently.
I mean, Dan, what are you making of Oregon? Because obviously, I know I had them really high. A lot of people did. People love Dan Lanning, love Dylan Gabriel. Do you think that they've just not fully, start to click yet? Do you think they've not woken up?
Yeah, they look like shit. So what Dave and Brandon said just now makes a ton of sense. I was a week early to their thought process, so I have to unfortunately not join them. I'm going to take the over in this game, over 50. But what they're saying, I thought of last week where I was like, Boise State's really good. Why is Oregon a 19.5-point favorite over them? I thought I was outsmarting it then. I wasn't. That was a 3-point game that Oregon needed 2 special teams touchdowns to win. So they might be right. This might be the week that it makes no sense that you got to take it. But yeah, I already lost once. I'm not going to chase that. I'm not going to chase my tail with Oregon. They just look like crap.
Ev, I know you and I are on the same side. I like Oregon as a team, but this seems like too many points for them.
Yeah, if it's a trap, I'm walking into it. I like Oregon State. Just really tough place to play. This is their Super Bowl. They're obviously a big rivalry game at home. They've been one of the best teams against the spread at home the last few years. I saw a stat about. Yeah, I'll take Oregon State in the points.
Yeah, I just haven't seen anything from Oregon that just screams like they're going to be able to blow a rival out. And I understand that I might eat my words on Saturday, but they have not looked good thus far. So I am also going to be taking Oregon State. All right, Dan, a game I believe you're going to as a fan, right? Number 4, Alabama at Wisconsin. It's a noon kick. Alabama favored by 16. The over/under 49.5. Dave, I will start with you before we get to Dan. What do you think about this Wisconsin team playing Alabama, who did struggle, but then ended up blowing out South Florida last week?
Yeah, I've changed my opinion a little bit on this game, actually. I originally said Alabama would win by 40. I think 60. I think Alabama wins by 60.
Yeah. Well, so here's the problem with this game.
This Wisconsin team stinks.
Yeah, we don't have an offense that can score points, which Dave, you know about because your offense fucking stinks. Too.
Refer to me as national champion.
But no. You said we're on to next week, so we're not talking about the past anymore.
No, national championships the whole season. We could still win the national championship. We don't look
last year.
We're on to Arkansas State.
This is this year.
National champions are on to Arkansas State. Walker, what's wrong with your face? What is wrong with your face, Walker? Why are you making those faces?
Don't transition to my face just because he's wearing you out.
We're on. The national champions are on to Arkansas State.
You guys are this season. You're not the national champs for this season.
Yeah, we are.
You're not going. No, you're not. You won the national championship last year, you dummy.
Dan, I will gladly give
you
my
can say you're defending national champs, but you're not the national champs for this season.
Fine,
you're not going to be the national champs.
Champs are on to Arkansas State.
Okay, now you're talking about the past. Defending national champs. You're talking about the past.
National champs.
No, you're not.
100% the national
defending, maybe. It's what have you done
national
lately?
Champs.
No one cares about the past. You said it yourself. You literally said it yourself. We're on to the next week. We don't care about last week. It's not jealousy. Your team
the national
stinks. My
champs
team
are on
stinks.
to Arkansas State. You're just mad. I said Wisconsin lose by 60.
No, I'm just pointing out that you said that Wisconsin's offense stinks, and you are an astute offensive observer of stinky offensive teams because you root for one. Woo! So we're the same, okay? I root for a bad offensive team. You root for a bad offensive team. Wisconsin is going to struggle in this game.
If the national champs are playing Alabama, I would expect us to lose this week. What are you guys talking about?
I mean, no.
I don't know, because they can't fight for themselves. So I don't know.
What basically just happened is it was like the big brother stood up to the bully and Brandon got to hide behind. That's exactly what happened. Like the little brother was getting pummeled, and then the big brother said, not so fast. And
there's no point of I've been getting pummeled on this show.
No, the way you just acted. That's all I'm saying. The way that Dan stood up for you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Every time we try to do any game, you start bringing up Michigan. It's gross. Okay.
Gross.
Hold on. I didn't mention Michigan in this game.
You did it again. There it is again.
You brought him up.
Brought up who?
Michigan.
Oh, my God. He's doing it again. What the hell? Stop saying that.
He keeps doing it.
We're talking about Alabama, Wisconsin.
You keep bringing him up. I said
you just brought him up
by
twice.
60.
Yeah, you just brought up that
him.
other team. I didn't ask you. You keep saying it.
Yes, you did. I said they're going to lose by 60, and then you got angry.
No, you keep saying your team's name for no reason. This game is not about that.
I'm not saying their name. I'm talking about this game. Bama by 60.
I'm talking about this game. Right. Thank you. Finally.
Continue.
Okay.
Masterclass.
This game is going to suck. I'm going to take Wisconsin because I will always root and die for my team. We're going to need, I think I put out my plan. We need the game changed to a night game. We're going to need 2 defense and special teams touchdowns.
Yeah.
Rico did take Bama as his lock. Rico did take Bama as his mortal. That helps a little bit. But yeah, this is not going to be fun. But hey, crazier things have happened, right?
Crazier things have happened, and you're going as a fan, so usually
enjoy yourself.
No, I'm not going to enjoy myself.
Are you going with like a group of college friends?
Hey, I'm going with some friends, and it's going to suck.
You're going to be in an RV. What a great day.
Yeah, no,
Camp Randall is going to be lovely. Jump around.
No, it's going to suck.
Brandon, who are you taking?
The under. I still don't think.
I like that play.
I still don't think Jalen Milroe is all that good. I don't know how Wisconsin's going to score at all.
I told you, 2 defensive touchdowns, special teams touchdown.
If that's what we're banking on, the under's a good play. I like the under. I don't think Wisconsin's going to score very much. Listen, you said that Alabama blew out South Florida. They didn't. They won 42-16 by scoring a bunch of touchdowns in the last 5 minutes.
They struggled the entire game.
It was 14-13 with 8 minutes to go.
They also struggled against South Florida last year, too.
They did, and didn't exactly. They weren't exactly a juggernaut the next couple of weeks after that. So I like
at the end of the season, they were very good.
Not really. They were the worst SEC champ in at least 2 decades.
See what I did? He's not going to bring it up.
Yeah,
he's broken.
I got it.
Thank you.
He didn't want to continue that argument.
I'll bring it up.
I'm waiting for his brain to. Are you not? You're not going to.
See it. It's like when a dog has a bark.
I have nothing to say. I don't just gratuitously talk about Michigan. If
Oh,
they're
there
hurt
it is.
into the conversation, I bring it up.
He did it again. He did it again.
Okay, I'm going to take Alabama. I understand that they struggled last week, but I do think they're much better than Wisconsin, and I do like Jalen Miller. Let's move to a game that I did not expect to be a ranked-on-ranked matchup going into the season, but number 24, Boston College at number 6, Missouri. Missouri favored by 16.5. The over-under at 54. Brandon, Boston. What?
Can we not even ask Ev who he likes in that football game? He doesn't get.
Oh, yeah, didn't ask Ev.
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's
Ev.
okay.
No, I'm sorry, Ev. Alabama, Wisconsin.
I'll take Bama. I think they pull.
Let the fat boy talk.
I always set Ev up. I apologize. I got lost in the Dan blender over here. Okay, so Ev also taking Alabama. All right.
I got you back, Ev. I got you back.
Thanks.
Don't let him. He's doing
trying
that
to
on
team up.
purpose.
They're trying
He's
to-
doing that on purpose. Don't let him do it.
What are you
It's
talking about? You didn't even let the poor man pick a game.
You know what? In all the history of doing this show, I don't know if Dave has ever done what he just did. Like, I feel like I have a pretty good pulse on whenever it's time to go over to Ev, and Dave now has Ev's back. I just want everybody to.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Take it, Ev.
Yeah.
Okay, Brandon, Boston College, Missouri.
All right. Why are we still ranking teams because they beat Florida State? Florida State is an awful football team. Georgia Tech, we ranked them. They immediately lost. We now rank Boston College, and they're going into one of the 10 best teams in the country. Missouri, I thought their defense wasn't going to be good. They've got 2 shutouts against Tomato Cans this year, but the defense is a lot better. You've got Luther Burden Jr., who's waiting to go off. I think Missouri wins this by 3 touchdowns.
I feel like it's because they just don't know who the top 25 teams are. They're just like, we got to slate. Like the AP top 10 is behind us, and other than that, they're like, I don't know, we got to slate somebody in these 25 spots.
Yeah, and we almost spelled Tennessee right on the AP top 25.
Yeah, you did notice that. Yes.
So
That's
I
tough.
like Missouri here. I think they're a very good team.
Dan.
I took Boston College in pick'em, so I'm gonna have to. No, you know SEC football, so I'm switching it. I just thought Bill O'Brien would be like
They might.
a professional enough coach that he can put together a game plan. Ev, is that who you like? You like Boston
I think
College?
he's going to slow it down.
Okay, I'll take. I'll
That's
stick
the honest.
with
I think they're going to pound the rock. They're going to slow it down. Yeah, I don't think we did it on necessary reference yesterday. I think he gets too much slack for being a bad GM as opposed to a bad coach. He's a good coach, and I think he's got a game plan here. I think he slows it down. They're going to run the ball, and they can keep it close here.
Okay, all right. I'll stick with BC.
Dave, who you taking?
Tough game. Again, every program I've been on, I got to shout out Missouri and how they ended last week because I bet them. They had no business covering. I think they were 32-point favorites. They were up 31, and they scored a touchdown. They started a drive at their own 45 with 2 minutes to go. Throwing, they ran out of bounds twice inside the 10-yard line. So shout out to them always trying to cover, which is something you have to think about here. Because it could be a 2-touchdown game. They'll go for the throat. I'm taking BC, though. I haven't been impressed by Missouri's offense. Their offense hasn't been going up and down the field with ease. The defense looked great. I'll take BC in the points. I don't love the game. I probably won't put real money on it.
Brandon, you've liked Missouri for a long time. I know last year.
I was first on Missouri.
Yeah, so I'm going to take Missouri too. I do think Boston College shouldn't be ranked, and I like Missouri a lot. But where's the Missouri meter for you? Are you buying top 10?
Well, I expected. Oh yeah, for sure. I expected to see. There were some fraud top 10 teams. You had Notre Dame, you had Michigan, you had Florida State. You had a bunch of fucking frauds up there. So now Missouri has taken their place. So yeah, they were fantastic last year. Went 11-2, and this year Brady Cook is a very good quarterback. They got the best receiver in the country that nobody talks about for some reason. I think they're very good.
Very good defense too. All right, let's move to the last game of the week in the SEC. Number 16 LSU at South Carolina.
Why have they scored so few points, Brandon?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they've just kind of been slow out of the blocks against 2 teams that they could have just shown, the cheerleaders could have beat them. So I don't know why they haven't been as explosive.
Because they're going great guns to try to score. They're getting the ball back every 3 seconds, but they're not putting up any points. It's strange.
I think this is the moment for the offense to stand up and be what they were last year. Because they were good offense last year, they were great offense last year, and they got most of the people back except for the running back, and they got a good transfer there. So I think they're going to be really good. This is the moment, though.
They haven't had to be really, really good yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, because they haven't played anybody. Okay, number 16 LSU at South Carolina. LSU favored by 7. The over/under at 49.5. Dave, I'll start with you. We thought South Carolina looked awful in week 1, barely beat Old Dominion, and then they absolutely destroyed Kentucky. We know LSU at 1-1. What are you thinking about for this game?
Yeah. So I had South Carolina that game. Easiest win for me of the week. I think we're at the you kind of are what you are stage with LSU. I mean, they did not look good last week. I beat them. I bet them the struggle in Nicholls State. So I'm going to take South Carolina. I think they can win this game.
Dan?
Yeah, I'm going to take South Carolina as well. I don't know. LSU's just, I don't know what's going on. Brandon, you tell me what's going on. They're not good.
They're not very good.
They're not very good.
They had the worst defense in the country last year. They didn't improve enough. They didn't go get transfers. They just,
so this is going to be a tight game.
And they downgraded at quarterback. I mean, you lose a Heisman Trophy quarterback.
The quarterback is good.
Right, but they downgraded from what they had last year, and their defense did not get any better.
Offensive line's a little soft. Like, they got pushed around by Nicholls State. They're just not.
It's crazy because the offensive line was supposed to be their
tackles are great.
strongest thing. Yeah.
So are you taking South Carolina, Brandon?
I am.
Well, I don't want to go across the board. Are you going South Carolina?
Probably SC in the over.
I'm going South Carolina.
I'm going South Carolina too.
Oh God.
It's across the board.
Yeah. I don't think LSU's very good.
You did say last night when we recorded that you thought this could be the LSU-Mizzou spot from last year.
Yeah, when LSU was struggling, not doing very well, and they went into Columbia, Missouri, and they won last year.
Yeah.
We do the same thing here, but I still
Nicholls
South
State.
Carolina. That was weird last week how much they dominated.
Well, South Carolina though, do you think that
State? What the hell is Nicholls State? Nicholls State was going up and down the field with LSU,
Yeah.
matching them score for score. The Nicholls State, are they even a Division I program?
They're in Louisiana.
Yeah, they're Louisiana.
What are they?
Must be FCS.
What's Nicholls State? Are they FCS? Yeah. They're FCS.
But here's another question, Brandon, when we look at South Carolina, do you think it's also just like that game was just Kentucky is just so bad? Like they're just so bad?
I mean, it might be South Carolina and
Kentucky's bad.
Yes,
Like
Kentucky is bad,
they look
but
awful.
It also might be South Carolina was holding back a little in week one and it almost burned them.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't really. These are both two very confusing teams.
Very confusing, yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. It's time for Powerade Trivia with Brandon Walker. College football landscape has changed a lot. NIL deals, social media, the transfer portal, and there's never been more distractions for an athlete, but Powerade knows what's most important. The commitment to the game with 50% more electrolytes than Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Hydrate your grind with Powerade. You can get a pack today on Amazon or to store near you. See product label for additional details. It takes more. Take a sip of your Powerade, Brandon.
will.
Tell everybody how good it's.
Delicious mountain berry blast.
Very good. Mm-hmm.
It is fantastic.
Yummy.
And here is this week's question. After beating Notre Dame, Northern Illinois is the number 25 team in the country in the AP poll. The last time Northern Illinois was ranked, who won the national championship?
Oh, gosh.
That is your question. The last time the Northern Illinois Huskies were ranked, who won the national title?
I have no
Michigan?
idea.
No, absolutely not. 100% no. I mean, Michigan's last legitimate title was in 1948.
Dan is writing a ton down right now.
Yeah,
I can't see what it is, but
Wait, what'd you just say, Dan?
I have a year in mind.
Walker?
Who say? I said, I'll repeat the question. The last time Northern Illinois was ranked, who won the national title? Pretty standard question.
I mean, Dan's writing a novel.
Casey not even trying to write anything down.
No, I mean, I'm so bad at trivia. It's crazy.
What all did you write down?
I mean, he was writing like a note.
Okay. Reveal.
It's wrong.
Jordan Lynch should have won the Heisman. Jameis did FSU.
Is that correct?
What'd you write, Big F?
I'd written Florida. I realized it was too early.
That is correct. 2013 was.
And Jordan Lynch should have won the Heisman.
Jameis was a pretty good Heisman winner.
Jordan Lynch should have won.
Jameis was damn good.
Jordan Lynch was incredible.
But that
That year was incredible.
You're on a trivia hot streak this year.
Jordan Lynch should have. Well, that was one of my favorite Max seasons. Jordan Lynch was so goddamn good that season. And then the next year, I want to say, was the year that they lost in the MAC championship that I was at, the Figure It Out gif. Mm-hmm. That one sucked.
All-time
the
gift.
Figure It Out gift was a Lions game.
No, it was me yelling at the MAC championship game in Detroit about the refs.
All right.
There you go.
Jordan Lynch should have won the Heisman.
Dan is on a Powerade trivia streak
Jordan
right
Lynch
now.
should have- I love that season. That was, NIU was incredible that year. Jordan Lynch is the man.
Okay, we had our DraftKings Dark Horse Parlay hit last week, which was phenomenal. So we're going to hope to run that back. Whether you're cheering on your alma mater or just love the thrill of college football, you're going to want to listen to this. We partnered up with DraftKings, and they have an offer that's perfect for game day. Right now, all new customers who bet $5 will instantly get $250 in bonus bets. That's something we can all celebrate. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app and use promo code CFB. The crown is yours. So I believe Spider's going to come in to write it on the board. So the way that we've been doing this is the four of us at the desk, and then whoever loses is out. Ev slid into Dave's place last week, and it hit, so Ev is back. So, Ev, I will start with you. What is your leg for this week?
hit?
Yeah, we hit.
Yeah, we hit.
Dang.
We hit last week. Unnecessary roughness hit last week.
Plus
too. It was a good weekend.
1167. Not bad. Holy shit.
Shout out DraftKings. All right, Ev, what's your pick for this week?
I'm on North Texas plus 9.5. Texas Tech is absolutely putrid. Specifically, their defense is awful. I really like Chandler Morris, the TCU quarterback. Now is at North Texas. In-state rivalry game too. The chip on their shoulder team going into Lubbock. I think they're live dogs here. I think it's a shootout. Give me 9.5.
I love North Texas. Brandon?
Casey, go ahead and close your ears for this one. I apologize preemptively. Texas A&M belongs as a 4.5-point favorite on the road to absolutely no one.
Agreed.
Florida is not a very good team, but they got a coach fighting for their life. On the other side, you got a coach trying to figure out what he's got. Florida's at home in the swamp, desperate time. It's Florida plus 4.5.
Connor Wegman sucks.
Yeah, he's not very good. They'll figure it out, though.
Florida plus 4.5.
Mike Elko will figure it out. All right, Dan.
I am going to take Purdue plus 10. Last week I had NIU in that game. I didn't have the money line. Here's the thing. Your inclination would be, well, Notre Dame lost to NIU, one of the biggest losses in their program history. They will bounce back. The problem is, I don't know what they can bounce back from offensively. They can't. They've not completed a pass over 20 yards. I think they'll win this game. I don't think they can beat anyone by 2 touchdowns at this point because they just don't have an explosive offense. I'll take Purdue.
And they're down bad right now. Notre Dame fans are not happy. I'm going to take something that we talked about the game earlier, and you guys I don't think are going to like this because a lot of you took Oregon. I'm going to take Oregon State plus 16.5. I just don't think that Oregon can blow anybody out right now. I think they'll figure it out, but a rivalry game, 16.5 points at home seems like a lot. So I don't know do we know what the odds are? So plus
Says
1189.
Yeah, 1189. I'm going to have to fuck with that. I like this parlay. Don't love Oregon State, but like the other picks. But what do I know?
No, I mean, listen, I as soon as everybody started saying Oregon, I wasn't great on that. But I don't want Florida to win either, so I'm kind of in a tough spot here. Let's go to Rowback Dog of the Week. College football is back, which means we are always all wearing our Rowback. The best way to describe Rowback is the best fit, the best feel. Use code football on rowback.com for a generous 20% off your first purchase through the end of this week. That's 20% off all polos, quarter zips, shorts, hoodies. Girls, they have really cute dresses too. That's spelled RHOBACK. Use code football. Make sure to check them out because if you're a college football fan, you wear your Rowback. Dave, I will start with you. Who is your dog of the week?
No, don't start. So they put our picks on this thing and I forget what I do. So I got to find what I picked.
Okay, then Dan, you start.
All right, so I was going to do Wisconsin, but since I've talked about it, and also I'm just heading into a weekend that I'm not going to look forward to football-wise. I'm changing on the fly. I'm sorry to Jake Bass and Booze, but I saw this late last night. Did you guys see this? That Caleb Nix, Clemson defensive back, played the entire game with a torn ACL. He is my dog of the week. He's out for the season now, but he tore his ACL on the first play of the game against App State, but didn't realize the severity of his injury, played the rest of the game on it. He said he just felt like something wasn't right, but he just kept playing and didn't really say anything to anybody. He thought he just hyperextended his knee. That's my dog of the week. That's
I don't
insane.
understand how that's possible.
That's a dog.
I do not get how that is possible. Like,
that's
that is physically, humanly possible.
Crazy. So, yeah, I was going to go one way, but then I saw that story. I was like, this guy tore his ACL on the very first play of the game.
Yeah.
And running around special teams and doing and they scored a lot of points. So if he was on kickoff coverage, he was out there a lot.
Yeah.
Brandon?
So, I thought about being cute here and just rubbing the thumb in Michigan's eye and saying a Texas player or saying how shitty Michigan was. But I'm not going to do that. I'm a classy guy.
Okay.
Ashton Genty, Boise State, has been the best player in the country through 2 weeks. And he's a running back, so you don't know when when it'll stop for him or when he'll have a week where he has 40 yards or something like that. So I want to give him his props now. Ashton Genty has been the best player in the country through 2 games, 200 and some odd yards in both weeks. He's been great, fantastic. He's my dog of the week.
Is it like 450 and 9 touchdowns?
Averaging 10.2 yards a carry.
On pace to break Barry Sanders?
Yeah. Although
Who's
pace
number 2?
It's not Melvin Gordon, is it?
Nope. Oh, looks like you don't know trivia.
Well, this isn't a trivia segment, so I wasn't prepared.
Who's number 2?
Barry Sanders was.
No,
it wasn't Ron Dane. It's not a Wisconsin back. It's who is it?
Monty Ball.
Okay, fine.
It's like I got the trivia. Maybe I'll do the trivia now.
Yeah, maybe he gets to do it next week.
You did. I was prepared. You always prepared. Okay.
Dave?
All right, I got mine. My dog of the week, and I went different in a dead dog and disgusting, is the refs in the Notre Dame NIU game, who we'd still be talking about if NIU didn't get the game-winning field goal, because if you watched it, they iced the game. Well, never mind that.
They still had to make it.
If Notre Dame came back and kicked the game-winning field goal, we'd be talking about this, because the spot that they had on third down was a full yard short. And the fact the review, they didn't do anything, disgusting. And also, Thomas Hammock, the coach at NIU, the great speech, he pretty much called a perfect game. He went for it, foregoing a deep field goal, got it on fourth down. So he's a good dog. The bad dog, the refs should be suspended the rest of the season for that Notre Dame game, who did that spot. Everyone wants to hand Notre Dame this, hand Notre Dame that. They're a fraud program. You should take the blue chip away from them. They're not a blue chip. They haven't won anything in 100 years, and they got refs cheating from them. The dog of the week is that ref.
That was such a bad call. It felt like it was like I was watching a game from 30 years ago where they're like, oh, we can cheat for Notre Dame and no one will see it, while we were just watching it like in real life. It felt like we were watching a game there was no yellow line, there was no replay. They're like, we'll just keep it moving and no one will say anything. It was nuts. We all were watching it like, this is crazy. This is a terrible spot.
And not only watching it, then it's like all over social media too. Like you can rewatch the exact same thing.
Thank God that Northern Illinois, the right team won.
I mean, on review, like it's right there in front of their face. They're in slow motion, and they're like, we don't have indisputable evidence. It's right in front of your face.
Correct. Ed, before I get to you, I'm just going to double down on what Dave said. Thomas Hammock is also my dog of the week because, first of all, I love when men cry over football. I mean, Sharon Moore did it last year. Caleb Williams. I'm all for it. The tears that man cried at the end of the game.
You and the family, Connor Stallings' family. His dad was crying.
Exactly.
He was crying.
Everyone's crying. I'm all about crying over football. And Thomas Hammock
was a moment. That's an early running for moment of the year. For
my guy.
It was not.
Connor Stallings, they were all just crying.
My guy Memes cried a little bit after the Jets loss.
I mean,
No, he did, Dave.
He actually cried?
He was so mad. He was so mad because he had put so much emotion into Aaron Rodgers that he deleted every app on his phone for like 24 hours. And we're like, your job is to do social media. And he's like, yeah, I just couldn't handle it.
It was a road game at the 49ers.
It was a week one game. He's back now. But it was a very funny reaction to the week one game.
I will never disparage a man or anybody for crying over football. And then we had Thomas Hammock on Unnecessary Roughness, and I asked him about the crying. And I said, how did everybody react the next day? And he said most people got it, but the only person that really roasted him was his own grandmother.
Yeah.
Like if your grandma roasts you for crying, like that's when you know. But I love it. I love tears over football. Ev, who do you have?
My dog of the week is Rocco Becht at Iowa State. An incredible come from behind win. He had an unbelievable second half. Down 19-7, which in Iowa State is like being down 30. Come back, incredible last minute drive to win that game, kick the field goal. Rocco Becht. This is a team I'm very, very high on. I picked them to go to the Big 12 championship game, and stock's up right now, looking good.
All right, let's go to Proper Picks presented by Proper number 12 Irish Whiskey. Before we get over to Dan when he takes the shot, we do have the standings. Dave and I at 2-0, Brandon, Dan, and Ev all at 1-1.
I want to say right now I'm 2-0 in spirit because no one's ever handicapped a game better than when I said I'm going to bet Utah until Cam Rising gets hurt, and I'll win money until Cam Rising gets hurt. They were up 23-0, and then Cam Rising got hurt.
Yep.
It was a perfect handicap.
Literally in the middle.
Perfect handicap.
I couldn't believe it. I was just watching the game. I was like, hey, you got to be kidding me. So whenever he comes back, is he back this week?
I don't think so.
They're going to set him out.
Yeah.
All right. So whenever he comes back, what I'm going to start doing is I might just my proper 12 my proper pick is going to just end up being like Utah first drive to score. That's what I'm going to have to start doing. All right, so Proper 12 is the only official whiskey of the Barstool College Football Show, and it's just a damn good tailgating whiskey. We got the original rich and smooth Proper 12 Irish whiskey or the crisp and fresh Proper Apple. Whichever whiskey you choose, make it proper. And Proper number 12, pour the roar. I have the Irish Apple.
I bet that's going to taste pretty good.
Listen. I'll have a bottle with me up in Madison. It's 8:30 in the morning, but that's okay. We'll take a little shot. I do love Irish Apple. I'm going to get myself ready for Saturday morning in Madison.
Is it going to be football weather in Madison at least? No?
Ooh, it's going to be hot.
Oh, that sucks. That
Yeah,
sucks. Who's your pick?
My pick this week is UCF -2.5, I believe the line is right now, against TCU. I love them in this game. I just think they're the better team. UCF -2.5.
Dave?
I almost did a very late switch here.
What are you
was it?
thinking?
Talk it out. Talk it out.
Talk it out with the gang.
South Carolina was my original pick. I'm debating switching it to Indiana, -3 at UCLA.
Do you want to think about it for a second?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do a late switch. I'm taking Indiana -3 at UCLA. I think UCLA is so bad. That line screams Indiana. Like it meaning UCLA at home catching points to Indiana. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it in our lifetime? Well, it's happening.
would have thunk it?
Who would have
Indiana.
thunk? Okay, Brandon? Brandon, why were you just eyeing Liam so
I
hard
don't
right
know,
there?
because he's a UCLA fan.
I know.
I just wanted him to soak it in. But he can't hear Dave anyway, so I don't know why. But anyway,
Poor Liam.
I'm going back to a team that I was right on in week 1.
Okay.
Because I like them in this spot, too.
Okay.
Vanderbilt is on the road at Georgia State. They're -10.5. Georgia State is a bad Georgia State version. Usually Georgia State's pretty salty. They got hammered by Georgia Tech. They beat Chattanooga by 3, who's god-awful. Vanderbilt, after beating Virginia Tech, was up. They won that game. Then they beat Alcorn State 55-0. I think 10.5. I think Vanderbilt's actually a pretty good football team. I like Vanderbilt -10.5.
Nothing about this pick, because I like Diego Pavia, but this is one of those things as a gambler, I have to stick up for lost bets, and Big Ev will have my back. They did not get hammered by Georgia Tech.
Oh, you're right. It was like 35-12.
And it was also like, if you watch that game, Georgia State moved the ball, and Georgia State got lucky.
Twice.
They had
first and goal twice and got no points.
Fair enough.
It's like basically like someone. It's like having like a deceased family member. Like, do not say that. I lost. That bet wasn't as bad as it
Okay.
was.
All right.
Okay.
I'll wear that one.
That was Bosco. What we just
That wasn't Bosco.
No, yeah, that was.
That's not Bosco.
That's what you didn't watch the game. You saw the
that was
Bosco.
a box
That's not
score.
Bosco.
That's a Bosco. You did a Bosco.
It was a box score that got hit.
Unfortunately, you were in the you did a Bosco, and unfortunately, you were in the room with 2 people who bet the game and watched every snap.
Well, how about this? Strike everything I said about the Georgia Tech game from the record. Vanderbilt's still really good.
Yes,
Georgia
I
State-
agree with all that.
Georgia
Yeah,
State
that's
still
right.
beat Chattanooga by 3.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to probably bet Vandy. I had to stand up for me and Big Ev, and you Boscoed it.
I didn't Bosco it.
Yeah, you did.
That's amazing.
If you-
Yeah, he's a big
But
time
that's what he
Bosco.
does. He does that where he'll be like, this team struggled or this team killed them. And you're like, did you watch any of the snaps? He's like, I caught it here and there. And you're like, no, you didn't. You didn't watch any of
Well,
it.
I'm not
But
even going
Brandon-
to claim
Yeah.
that. I didn't catch that game.
They'll be like, yeah, no, they'll be like,
Correct.
a team will win like
Well, that-
42. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's different than a Bosco. Bosco would still be trying to claim.
Yeah, you admit it.
Credit
Yeah,
him.
you admit it.
And also, Brandon, if the pick wins, it's okay. Because like they said that I did a Bosco picking North Texas in week 1, and I was right. So,
Yeah.
as long as you
And I
pick it,
don't
it's fine.
disagree with the pick. I was just more standing up for Georgia State.
Got it.
Okay, Ev?
Dan, it was very fitting that you did that.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
We're in the hole together, UCF.
Oh, okay, let's go.
I just don't think TCU's very good.
No.
I think UCF is the much better team. This might be controversial. I even think they have the better quarterback. I like KJ Jefferson better than Hoover. Give me UCF.
I'm going to go with Ole Miss -23.5 versus Wake. Wake is god-awful, and Ole Miss is just scoring. I mean, they scored 76 against Furman, could have scored 100. They beat, Middle Tennessee 52-3. I think Lane is going to just absolutely run the score up as much as he possibly can, so I'm going to take -23.5 versus Wake. Okay, so the Uber One Top 10. So we do have the AP Top 10 behind us, but the Uber One Top 10 is our collective Top 10s as we vote like our own little collective group. So Uber One is debuting a fantastic new program for students and the college students get all the benefits of regular Uber One membership, but it's only half the regular price, so just $4.99 a month. Some benefits do include $0 delivery fee, up to 10% on Uber Eats orders, and earn 6% Uber cashback on Uber rides. Get additional daily free items and more discounts from your favorite brands. Sign up now in Uber or Uber Eats app and get 4 weeks for free. I mean, you're losing money in college students if you don't do this. So let's unveil our Uber One Top 10 as we voted this week. I'm very interested to see where some of these teams land. Okay, so Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Ohio State, Ole Miss, Miami, USC, Alabama, Missouri, Penn State. Any surprises to anybody?
Well, who moved
Penn
Alabama?
State maybe
down?
a little, but
I did not move.
I didn't move Alabama.
well, Alabama hasn't played great. I had Alabama
haven't.
down. I didn't
agree.
think they looked great.
I moved him down a little bit, but not enough to go to 8. I honestly don't remember. I'm shocked.
I have no problem with
have
this.
Alabama at 4.
Who's got Tennessee?
Oh, I did take Alabama 8.
Who's got Tennessee in the top 3?
Tennessee's really good, but that's a little high.
Who's got Tennessee in the top 3?
Not me.
Not me.
I have Tennessee 5.
Who's putting this poll together?
Yeah, who is putting this poll together? I had Georgia, Ohio State, Texas as my top 3.
That's exactly what I had.
And then I had Alabama, Tennessee, USC, Ole Miss, Mizzou, Penn State, Oregon. I moved USC up because I think they've been that win.
I have Tennessee at 3.
I do have Tennessee at 3.
I think I have Tennessee at 4. So
You guys moved.
I have them at 3. They played a ranked team and won by 100. They've looked really good. I had Texas, Georgia, Tennessee, USC, Mississippi, Missouri, Alabama, Miami,
hold on.
NIU, Utah.
wait a second. Because they beat that overrated piece of shit in Ann Arbor, you got Texas number 1?
I have Texas number 1. Yeah, I think they look great. I put my money where my mouth is. Quinn Ewers, Heisman. I bet 10 grand on it.
So you think Texas would beat Georgia right now?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, they are very good.
Oh yeah,
Right.
that's so
Good
crazy.
team.
That's so crazy. The
Damn good team.
playoff team that has like their entire team back. What a crazy thing to say.
Damn good team. They don't have a good win yet. I need to see Texas against a good
They
team.
have a great win. They have the biggest statement win on the calendar. It's early, but they have the biggest.
Are they named Northern Illinois? Because
Yeah.
they have the best win on the calendar.
Northern
You
Illinois,
think
I would
beating
say.
Notre Dame's better than beating Michigan? Okay.
Yeah. I sure do.
Why?
At home as a
Well, they beat number 5
touchdown dog.
as opposed to Texas beating number 8. I mean, just right there. We can start right there.
Texas,
Northern Illinois also got
Riley
paid
Leonard
to
can
do
actually
it.
run a
the
little.
national champs, please.
They're not.
This is where you guys
Get
get
back
silly.
in here.
This is where you get silly. Don't be silly.
Oh, you're silly. You're silly.
And the fact
Did
that
it
Northern
again.
Illinois
Rob
did
Michigan.
that and got paid like $1.4 million to do it, I would say, is probably a bigger statement win.
Did any of you guys have NIU in your top 10 this week? I did. So
No, I
I'm giving.
I had him 12.
I had them 11.
I got him 8 or 9.
No, I did. I had him 12 because I've been doing a top 12 because I'm using it like the college football playoff where the 12th team will be the G5 team that gets
I
in.
like that.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
I
so
like
we
that.
should
We
probably start doing that.
We actually probably should do the top.
Yeah, I mean, 10 doesn't matter. 12 is what matters.
I was just told by Jake Bass that we're going to start going 12 once the college football playoff bracket starts coming
Got it.
up. So
But I did it for my own
Yes.
whatever. I don't know. I can't think
practice.
of the word.
Out of the
Practice.
game.
My own satisfaction, my own
Edification?
edification. Is
Yeah.
edification?
I think it's edification.
your own research.
I did mine for my own
no?
edification. I had NIU 12.
Okay. Group of 5
What
team.
is edification?
I don't know.
That word, I don't feel like that
It's in
word
my
fits.
head as
It doesn't
well.
fit. Okay, we are back on the road next week. We're going to a new place we have never been before. We are going live for Auburn, Arkansas. In Auburn, 5:50 Martin Luther King. We don't know the time yet. We don't know the time of the game.
It is.
But Brandon, you are having a hell of a season from playing a heel standpoint.
Well,
thus
listen.
far.
I mean, it's the SEC. I hate every team that's not Mississippi State.
It just
But-
means more.
Yeah, it just means more. That's
But you
fine.
hate Hugh Freeze
I do hate Hugh Freeze. I hate Auburn. But here's the thing.
and Arkansas. You hate Sam Pittman.
Arkansas. is
This,
one
by
of
the
my
way,
little
I
games.
think Dan and I talked about this being like the game of the week potentially.
Right.
At one point,
This game-
oh,
yeah.
Arkansas
This game
looks
is taking a
great.
hit.
Auburn's going to win.
Yeah.
But Auburn is a great fucking place to watch a football game.
It is.
It's a phenomenal
excited.
stadium, phenomenal tailgating. It's a great fucking place to watch football.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
good.
And and the fact that we've never been to, there's always like a different vibe when we go to a place where we've never been. And I mean, it is SEC country. And Arkansas, I mean, they looked fine, I guess. Like they lost.
They figured out how to lose, but
Yeah.
I guess they looked okay doing it.
But Auburn stinks. Like they lost to Cal. Like that's no offense to Cal, but we're
Cal
excited.
could
We
end
don't know
up being all right.
Yeah, they could.
they could. So Brandon, I do have a question though, because you hate Hugh Freeze,
Right.
But you also are not a Sam Pittman guy. So what are we going to do next week?
We're just going to go enjoy the atmosphere and
Okay.
enjoy the people. That's what we're going to do. We're going to enjoy being in SEC country because it just means more down there.
All right, it does. All right.
It's
so-
an interesting
Very
matchup
excited.
between those two.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
No, I was just thinking, like, is there a chance Hugh Freeze pays Sam Pittman to see his tits?
Well, there's that. But
or let's the recruit see his
we got
kids.
Hugh Freeze on one side and Bobby Petrino on the other.
Yeah.
No, it's
I like
got
it.
a lot of
I like it.
there's a lot of potential for some good jokes to be
I like
flying
it.
around. The game is a flex game, so we don't know exactly what time it'll be, but we will be there. We'll see you next week in Auburn, Alabama.
Can't wait.